Your muscles got smaller, your strength dropped, your energy vanished, and your doctor said the same thing every man over 65 hears today. You're just getting older. I'm Dr. Kenzo, urologist. 15 years watching men arrive at my office defeated because someone convinced them decline was inevitable. It's not. There's a molecule that clears the aging cells right out of your body. And it is sitting inside a fruit most men your age haven't eaten in a decade. Let me lay this out properly before I show you the protocol. The numbers first, because numbers don't lie. After the age of 65, men lose between 3 and 8% of muscle mass every single decade. The medical term for this is sarcopenia. Testosterone drops, bone density falls, cellular repair slows down dramatically. But here's what your doctor didn't tell you in those 18 minutes of consultation. Inside your body right now, there are cells that should have died years ago. They refused. Scientists call them zombie cells. These cells don't work anymore, but they don't leave either. They sit inside your tissues, leaking inflammation that destroys everything around them. Your muscles, your joints, your brain, your prostate, your heart tissue. Every ache, every loss of strength, every morning you wake up feeling less than yourself has a direct cellular explanation. And there is one natural compound proven to clear these cells out. The science is undeniable, and I'm going to walk you through every piece of it today. But before I do, something quick. By the way, something I noticed watching this channel grow over the past months. The men who subscribe and actually come back every week are the same men who decided at some point in their life that you're just getting older is not a medical answer. They are in their 60s, their 70s. Some of them are in their 80s, and they refuse to accept decline as destiny. If that sounds like you, subscribe, because this channel was built for exactly that decision. The men in the comments section below are already sharing what is actually working for them. Go read them after the video. The ones who stay return every week for research most doctors don't have time to explain in a regular consultation. Anyway, back to what matters. In the year 2018, researchers at the Mayo Clinic and the University of Minnesota published a study inside a journal called eBiomedicine. The lead researchers were Dr. Paul Robbins and Dr. Laura Niedernhofer. They tested 10 different compounds to see which one cleared the most zombie cells from aging tissue. Only one compound outperformed every single pharmaceutical drug they tested, a natural flavonoid found in common fruit. In their tests on aged mice, a single course of treatment extended lifespan by roughly 36%. 36%. That is the equivalent, in human terms, of giving a 70-year-old man another 25 years of quality life. And these weren't fragile laboratory mice on a special diet. These were aged mice eating ordinary food. The results were so striking that human trials began almost immediately at the Mayo Clinic. Those trials are still running right now, on real men in their 60s and 70s. Most of you have never heard a word of this from your regular doctor. And there's a precise reason why. Let me show you what's really happening. You sat in a doctor's office maybe more than once over the past few years, and you mentioned that you didn't feel like yourself anymore. Less strength, less drive, less sharpness, more fatigue, more aches you cannot explain. And the answer was a new prescription, or worse, a pat on the back, and that's normal at your age. That wasn't medicine, that was the system. The average primary care visit in the United States now lasts under 18 minutes. A large part of that time is spent on paperwork and billing, not on you. In that window, there's no time to explain cellular senescence, no time to discuss flavonoids, senolytics, or the research coming out of the Mayo Clinic at this very moment. There is time to write a prescription, and that is what you got. Meanwhile, research on Fisetin, the compound I'm about to show you, has been expanding for 7 straight years now. Clinical trials at the Mayo Clinic are currently running on humans, real men in their 60s and 70s. Results are being published, data is being collected, and almost none of it is reaching the average family doctor in time to help you. If this information matters to you, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because every video on this channel goes deeper into research most men never hear about from their primary care physician. The men already in the comment section are doing this. You are one step away from joining them. Continuing. Now let me show you what a zombie cell actually does inside your body. A normal cell finishes its job, follows the instruction to self-destruct, and gets replaced by a fresh new cell. That is the original design. A zombie cell refuses the instruction. It stops functioning, but it stays there, taking up space. And more important than that, leaking. It leaks inflammatory signals called SASP. That stands for senescence-associated secretory phenotype. These signals tell the healthy cells around them to age faster. That is why aging compounds over time. One zombie cell creates more zombie cells, and your body accelerates downhill. In men over 65, zombie cells accumulate heavily in 5 key places in the body. Muscle tissue, which is why you lose strength. Joint cartilage, which is why everything hurts in the morning when you first step out of bed. Prostate tissue, which is why the trips to the bathroom at night became a regular event. One more thing. If you have made it this far into this video, You already know something most men your age never figure out. Decline is not destiny. It is a process you can interrupt. Every share of this video puts this research in front of another man who still thinks getting older is the final diagnosis. Share it with your brother, your friend, your neighbor who walks slower than he did last year. Every share keeps this knowledge alive. Continuing, zombie cells also accumulate in the brain, which is why memory fades and names escape you in conversation, and inside the blood vessels, which is why circulation weakens and energy collapses with it by the middle of the afternoon. So the real question becomes this: how do you clear them out? For years, the only answer was expensive experimental drugs costing thousands of dollars per treatment cycle, until researchers found the compound that did the job better than any of them. It is called Fisetin, and the richest natural source on the planet is a fruit you probably haven't eaten in years: strawberries. Fisetin is a flavonoid, a natural plant compound found in tiny amounts inside apples, persimmons, onions, cucumbers, and grapes. But in strawberries, the concentration is roughly 6 times higher than in any other common fruit. In the Mayo Clinic study, mice received Fisetin for 5 consecutive days. Just 5 days. That was the entire treatment window. Within 2 weeks, their zombie cell count had dropped by nearly 50% across multiple tissues. Muscle mass improved, grip strength improved, inflammation markers dropped. The equivalent in human terms would be a 70-year-old man regaining the cellular profile of someone 20 years younger than him. And here is the most important part for you. You don't need a prescription. You don't need a laboratory. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on imported supplements. You need strawberries in your morning juice, in the right amount, in the right combination, at the right time of day. Here is the 7-day challenge. For the next 7 days, add 1 full cup of strawberries to your morning juice. That is about 8 medium berries, fresh or frozen, not dried, not freeze-dried, not powdered. The flavonoid breaks down with heat and heavy processing, so raw and whole is essential. Watch what happens on day 3. Energy returns first, not caffeine energy, a deeper, steadier kind. On day 5, the morning stiffness loosens. You will notice it getting out of bed. On day 7, your focus sharpens. Something clears in your head you didn't even know was clouded. This is not placebo. This is the SASP signals dropping as the zombie cells finally break down and leave. Your body is finally doing what it was designed to do from the start. But there is a catch most men miss, and it is the difference between men who feel nothing and men who feel everything change. The Fisetin in strawberries absorbs poorly on its own. Without the right combination, nearly 90% of it passes through your body completely unused. With the right combination, absorption increases by up to 6 times, so pay close attention to what comes next. Here is the exact morning juice protocol I use with patients in my practice. 1 full cup of fresh or frozen strawberries, roughly 8 medium berries. 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, cold, pressed, not refined. This is the absorption key most men miss entirely. Fisetin is fat soluble. Without fat in the mixture, it doesn't pass through your gut wall into the bloodstream. Olive oil provides the monounsaturated fats that carry it across into your body where it can actually work. 1/2 of a fresh lemon, juice only, not bottled lemon juice. The vitamin C stabilizes the Fisetin and prevents oxidation during digestion. 1 cup of cold filtered water, or for more flavor, use plain coconut water. Blend everything together for 20 seconds, no longer than that. Overblending heats the mixture and breaks down the flavonoid molecule. Drink it immediately after blending. Within 15 minutes of finishing the glass, your body begins absorbing the compound through the small intestine. Do not eat anything else for 45 minutes after you drink it. Other food competes for the same absorption pathways and dilutes the effect of the entire protocol. Now for the combinations that multiply results. On day 3, add 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric root powder. Fresh, not the old jar buried in the back of your spice rack. Turmeric contains curcumin, which works in parallel with Fisetin to reduce the inflammatory signals from the zombie cells still breaking down. On day 5, add 1 teaspoon of raw honey, preferably local to your region. Honey stabilizes the blood sugar response and provides a mild prebiotic effect that supports the gut bacteria that help process flavonoids. On day 7, consider adding a small slice of fresh ginger root. Ginger extends the anti-inflammatory window by several hours into the afternoon. These 4 additions together, strawberries, olive oil, lemon, and the rotating boosters, form what researchers have informally called the Senolytic stack. Mayo Clinic scientists using Fisetin in human trials have noted that co-administration with compounds like these produces results closer to pharmaceutical senolytics, and you are doing it with food, real food, from the grocery store, for roughly the price of a cup of coffee. That is not an accident. That is what the pharmaceutical industry spent decades trying to patent and failed. You cannot patent a strawberry, which is exactly why you have never heard a single word about this from your regular doctor. Here's the results timeline when you follow the protocol with precision. Day 1 and day 2, nothing obvious happens on the surface. Zombie cells are being flagged for removal but haven't broken down yet. Day 3, energy shifts first. A quieter, steadier energy. Not caffeine energy. Some men report sleeping better that first week. Deeper sleep, not longer sleep. Day 5, joint stiffness loosens. Getting out of bed in the morning takes less effort than it did a month ago. Some men notice their handwriting becomes steadier. That is not an accident. That is muscle coordination improving. Day 7, mental clarity arrives. Men describe it as remembering what it felt like to think clearly. A word comes back instantly instead of getting stuck on the tip of your tongue. Day 14, if you continue the protocol, physical strength starts returning. Grip strength measurable on any dynamometer at your doctor's office. Stair climbing easier. Carrying groceries easier. Day 21, men report waking before the alarm, feeling refreshed for the first time in years. And this is where the transformation becomes undeniable to the people around you. Your wife notices first, then your kids, if they live nearby. Someone at church says, "You look different," and they cannot quite place why. You look rested, present, returned. Now the 3 mistakes that cancel everything. Mistake number 1, using strawberry jam, strawberry yogurt, or anything labeled strawberry flavored. The processing destroys the flavonoid. You will feel nothing. Many men give up at this point thinking the science was wrong. It was not. Their source was wrong. Mistake number 2, skipping the fat. Without olive oil or another source of healthy fat, up to 90% of the Fisetin passes through unused. Some men drink the strawberries alone and wonder why nothing happens. Now you know why. Mistake number 3, drinking it with coffee or black tea. The tannins in coffee and tea bind to the flavonoid inside the gut and prevent absorption completely. Wait at least 1 full hour between your morning juice and your first cup of coffee. Get those 3 things right, and the results are almost guaranteed. Get even one of them wrong, and you're back at square one. Now let me show you what your life looks like at the 90-day mark if you stay with this. Morning stiffness is gone. You get out of bed, and you feel like yourself from the very first step. Your grip strength, measurable at any medical checkup, is higher than it has been in 5 years. Your prostate function improves. Trips to the bathroom at night become less frequent. Sleep becomes deeper. 4 hours of deep sleep instead of 6 hours of restless half sleep. Mental focus sharpens. You can read a book for an hour without losing your place. Your energy at 3 in the afternoon does not collapse the way it used to. Your libido, which most men your age have quietly accepted has disappeared, returns. Not explosively, quietly, the way it used to be back in your 50s. And the most unexpected effect for nearly every man who stays with this protocol, you start making plans again. You start saying yes to things you would have said no to last year because your body stopped punishing you every single morning for waking up. That is what cellular rejuvenation actually feels like. That is what Fisetin does inside a body that was ready to give up. And your doctor could not have explained any of this in 18 minutes. Not because they are bad at their job, because the system did not give them the time to learn it or share it. Now you have the time and the information. What you do with it starting tomorrow morning is the only thing that matters now. If this video reached you at the right moment in your life, there is something I need you to do before you close it. This knowledge didn't disappear. It was never promoted in the first place. It was studied, published, and quietly left out of the mainstream conversation because no company could patent it. But it lives inside every video on this channel. If this video made a difference for you, subscribe to Green Vault and share it with someone your age who needs to hear this. Every share keeps alive what the system never rewarded anyone for keeping alive. The next video on this channel goes deeper into the second most studied senolytic compound, found not in strawberries, but in the skin of a fruit most men throw straight in the trash, the one that might matter even more for prostate health after 65. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Click the notification bell because the algorithm won't always show you what actually matters. The men in the comments below are already sharing what worked for them. Go read them. Leave yours. Remember the promise. One more time. 1 cup of strawberries, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, half a lemon, cold water, 20 seconds of blending, 7 days. That is the protocol. That is the research. Published, peer-reviewed, from the Mayo Clinic and the University of Minnesota. Not from a supplement company, not from a wellness influencer, from one of the most respected medical institutions in the world, which is exactly why the pharmaceutical companies wanted it buried. Because it proves something they cannot sell. Your body knows how to rejuvenate itself. It just needs the right inputs and the right knowledge. You now have both. In 7 days, you will know if I was telling you the truth. In 21 days, the people around you will know too. In 90 days, your doctor will want to know what you did differently. Tell them it was a cup of strawberries in your morning juice. This knowledge doesn't belong to the industry. It belongs to you. Subscribe to Green Vault so no one forgets it.